Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Bible study with me video. In today's Bible study, we are looking at Jonah chapter 2. So if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. So welcome back to another Bible study. Before we get into it, I just wanted to give some encouragement. I know that we are going through a lot right now as a nation, as a world, as a body of believers. And when I was putting on this sweater to get dressed, I just heard God say that you are a champion. We are champions. Every one of us in the body of Christ are champions. We can get through this. We are going to make it through this. And so even if you haven't been feeling your best, even if you haven't been pressing into God like you feel like you should be, even if you're just feeling overwhelmed and anxious and worried and depressed, just any negative feelings during this time, know that you are not alone. Know that you are not the only one, but also know that you are a champion. We are going to get through this, right? And so you can fight your way out of this. You can fight your way out of the funk. And so, yeah, I just wanted to encourage you to do that. Fight your way out of the funk. And I might make a video that'll go up on Monday, talking about how you can fight your way out of a spiritual funk if you find yourself there right now. So with all that being said, let's get into today's Bible study. So we are looking at Jonah chapter 2. If you haven't watched the last one, then I will go ahead and link it in the cards up here, and definitely go watch that and then come back and watch this one. So the theme of the last video was you cannot run from purpose, you cannot outrun God. And so we just saw how God commissioned Jonah to go speak to the people in Nineveh, and how he fled in the opposite direction, right? And he didn't do what he was called to do, but God created a storm in his life, right? He didn't allow him to be comfortable in his disobedience. And so now we find Jonah at the beginning of chapter 2 in the belly of a fish, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read the whole chapter, and then I'll just share some notes and some revelation that God gave to me. So Jonah chapter 2 verse 1 says, "Then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the belly of the fish. He said, I called to the Lord out of my distress, and he answered me. Out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice. You cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the flood surrounded me. All your billows and your waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast away from your sight, yet I will look again to your holy temple. The waters encompassed me, even to my soul. The deep surrounded me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. I went down to the foundations of the mountains. The earth with its bars was around me forever. Yet you have brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple. Those who follow vain idols forsake their true loyalty, but I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving. I will pay what I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord." Then the Lord spoke to the fish, and it vomited Jonah out upon dry land, right? And so if I had to have a theme for this particular chapter of Jonah, I would say look for the yet. Look for the yet. And so the reason why I say that is because Jonah is in the belly of the fish. He's been thrown overboard, right? And while he is in the belly, he starts praying to God. While he is in the lowest part of his life, he has literally been thrown off of a ship. He thinks he is going to die, and he is swallowed by a fish, and now he is just stuck sitting in the belly of a fish. Have you ever felt like you were so deep in your crap that you just felt like you were in the belly of a fish? I am just in a pit. I am at the lowest point in my life. Have you ever just thought, how did I get here? Right? How did I even get here? And so Jonah says in verse 2, I called to the Lord out of my distress, and he answered me. And so that is so powerful, because no matter how you feel, no matter how far you think you've gone, even if you feel like you're at your lowest, you can still pray to God. You can still call to God in the midst of your distress, and he will answer you. You can call to God in the midst of the chaos that we're going through right now, and he will answer you. He is waiting for you to call out to him. Jonah says, out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice. You cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the flood surrounded me. All your billows and your waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast away from your sight, yet I will look again to your holy temple, right? Jonah, I was cast away from your sight. I was at the lowest point of my life. I felt like that there was nothing I could do to get back to where I was, yet I will look again to your holy temple. Yet I will look again to you, God. Yet I am coming back into your presence, God. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I can get out of this place, but God, I am looking back to you. I am coming back to your holy temple. Yet, look for the yet. There's always, as long as you are living, there is a yet in your situation. Yes, I got the divorce, yet. Yes, I dropped out of school, yet. There is power in the yet. Do you know what the yet of your life is telling you? It's telling you that while you may be disqualified, while you may be counted out, God can still use you. There is something on the other side. He said, then I said, I am cast away from your sight, yet I will look again to your holy temple. I might be cast away, but as long as I am still living, I know that there is something else on the other side. We might be going through this pandemic, yet God is a deliverer. I might not know where my next paycheck is going to come from, yet God is Jehovah Jireh. He's my provider. Have you been looking for the yet, or have you been sitting in the pit? Have you given up on yourself? Have you given up on God? Do you not know who God is? Do you not know that there is something on the other side of the yet? Look for the yet. And then verse 5 says, the waters encompassed me, even to my soul, the deep surrounded me. So not only was I surrounded physically by the waters, but even to my soul, the deep, the depthness of the situation that I was in surrounded me. Weeds were wrapped around my head. It was taking my thoughts. My mind was crazy. I felt depressed. I felt anxious all the time. Weeds were wrapped around my head. All I had was negative thoughts. I went down to the foundations of the mountains. The earth with its bars was around me forever. Yet you have brought up my life from the pit, O Lord my God. I was at my worst. I couldn't see how things were going to get better. Yet you have brought up my life from the pit. I thought it was the end for me. Everybody else counted me out. Yet you have brought up my life from the pit. What has God brought you from? Look back over your life. If you are feeling discouraged, if you are feeling down right now, I dare you to look back over your life and make a list of all those yet moments in your life. Those moments where you didn't see how there was anything good that could come out of the situation that you were in, yet God turned it around for your good. Yet God was still working it even when you couldn't see it. Where are those yet moments in your life? Verse 7 says, when my life was ebbing away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple. When your life is ebbing away, when you feel like you are losing everything, what do you think about? What are you remembering? Is it God? Jonah said, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you. When my life was ebbing away, when I felt like I was losing everything, God, I remembered you. I put my mind on you, and I prayed to you in your holy temple. I desired to be in your presence. And then verse 8 says, those who follow vain idols forsake their true loyalty. What have you been idolizing? What have you been loyal to? Right? But I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving, God. I am at my lowest, but I will say thank you. I will pay what I have vowed. I really want to read this section out of the NIV. And it says, those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. Those who cling to worthless idols forfeit the grace that could be theirs. What have you forfeited because your mind was not on God? What have you forfeited because you weren't serving the one and true living God? What have you forfeited in the past because you were serving other idols, because you put yourself above God, because you put your marriage above God, because you put your children above God, because you put your job above God, because you put your day-to-day responsibilities above God? What grace have you forfeited? And then verse 9 in the NIV says, but I, with a song of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. I will make good on the things that I have promised to you, God. Because salvation comes from the Lord. And then verse 10 says, and the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. His deliverance came after he finally realized who God was. He finally realized that he hadn't done everything right. He finally realized that there was some vows that he made that he didn't make good on. There was some promises that he made that he didn't deliver on, right? But the whole point of this, and what I really want you guys to see, is that there is deliverance on the other side from whatever you are going through, whatever you are feeling in this moment. There is deliverance, there is joy, there is peace, there is comfort, there is provision on the other side. But you have to get to that yet place. You have to get to that place of knowing first in your mind that God is who he says he is. And things might look bleak now, yet God is still working, yet I will still trust him, right? And so that is Jonah chapter 2. I hope that you guys got something from this. If you did, definitely let me know in the comment section below so we can have a dialogue. And I will see you guys next week with another Bible study video. Bye.